My town is a little strange. If you ask what's strange about it, it's a little hard to say. But things are a little off. Like it's stuck in a gap. In a strange, uncertain atmosphere. That was what my town was like. As I walked through the tiny shopping district, there was a sign on the ground. Seemed there was a one-man exhibition on. This one-man exhibition seemed to be a private showing of some sort. On the sign, the two characters for Scary Pictures were written. How was I supposed to read that? Kyoukai, maybe? I had some time, so I went inside the building. They had rented out an entire floor in this small building for the exhibit. There were several paintings lined up on the wall. They were all creepy. There were holes in a person's skin, and there were numerous body parts that shouldn't have been there, jostling for space on the canvas. Was it a collage? It was a style you didn't see much, like it was made of photographs but also painted. 3 of the same painting were lined up on the wall. It seemed to be looking at me. It was creepy. Made me uncomfortable. It was like I didn't want to be in its presence even for 1 second. What did this picture portray? Was the person who painted it somewhat disturbed? At the very least, they had to be mentally unstable. It was unrealistic, yet strangely vivid. You could say it was horror, sure, but it was slowly making me feel sick. I looked right at it. I looked away. I turned back to the painting again, like I was peeking at it. Nothing in the painting moved. As I stared at the painting that looked vaguely like a photo, the hands seemed to reach out in my direction. It was kinda creepy. I shook my head. There was no such thing. There was no way. The nooses in the picture swung. A warm air wafted out of the painting. I sweat all over. It was gross. It was looking at me. The eyes kept blinking. I didn't know whether it was because my eyes were moving or the painting was moving. My legs felt weak. It was like there was a pressure in my head. Something tapped my shoulder. A chill ran down my spine, and I turned around to see somebody standing there. I was surprised. I didn't sense anybody there. Maybe I didn't notice because I had been so wrapped up in the paintings. Yes? Which picture? Which picture do you like? I pointed to the flower picture. Is that so? It was hard to tell if the person was smiling or if their expression had warped, but they stared at me from behind long bangs. I'll give it to you. Eh? The picture. Today is the final day, after all. I wanted to scream that I didn't need such a thing. But the person talking to me might be the creator, and I didn't want to be rude. As I stood there in surprise, they handed the painting over. What should I do? I opened my mouth to say that I didn't want it. The person stared. Not at me, but at the picture I was holding. Why did you think to paint such a picture? Don't you feel like the border is blurred? The border? The boundary is blurred between life and death. I found it kinda strange that even though they are dead, they are right there. Do you think there are beings out there that look just like humans, but actually aren't? At last, I ran from that place, with the picture still in hand. Why? I was afraid, and yet I knew it was wrong to bring it with me, and yet I took it home. I hung the flower painting on the wall. When I looked at it, it was like someone might crawl out of it or something. I started spending more and more time with the painting. I felt myself going more and more mad. I couldn't sleep at night. And even if I did, I dreamt of that exhibition again. I was surrounded by scary paintings. They all started moving. I woke up covered in sweat. It was gross. So gross. Gross. I didn't feel like doing anything. Didn't feel like eating. Let's just sleep. Deeply. So deep that I don't dream about anything. Huh? Next thing I knew, I was back at the exhibition again. There were no more scary paintings on the walls. But there was a crack in the wall. I wanted to know more. What was on the other side? Something was crawling around in the darkness. Numerous eyes all looked at me, watched me. Ah. I was scared and frightened, and yet, inside that crack, arms. I pointed to the painting of the half-girl. I took it home. I put the picture of the half-girl in the closet and then left it there. It was like I would be cursed or something would come to an end. I was overcome with fear. It grew stronger by the day. I started seeing things. At first, it was a stain on the wall. It just looked like a black smudge. Then it started to take the shape of a hand. I ran around town. Clump, clump, clump. It sounded like footsteps were getting closer. I was just hearing things. It was an illusion. But what if it wasn't? I had run around so much that I didn't know where I was. Feet stood at the top of the stairs. Those feet were what had been chasing me. The world twisted. There was an exit, but that exit was eroding. I couldn't go back. Back to the place I had walked around all this time. How on earth did I get here? I broke out in a clammy sweat, clenched my fists, and then climbed firmly up the stairs. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps. The hallucination blurred. It was all a lie. Everything was fake. That was why I turned around on the stairs. And I saw it. I pointed to the painting of the trees and ropes. I took it home. I put the picture of the trees and ropes on the ground and turned it over so I couldn't see it. I couldn't even throw it out. I didn't know what to do. Even if I wanted to talk to someone about it, it was so creepy that I was afraid to get anyone else involved. What should I do? What should I do? Day by day, I grew weaker. I had no appetite, and even when I got home, I couldn't sleep because I feared the painting might move. And so, that was why I wandered around town, both day and night. No matter where I went, thinking about that painting back in my house made me feel like I was losing it. Nothing made sense anymore. I was scared. That was it. Ropes hung from the trees. It wasn't like there was anything there. Just the ropes, swinging like they were beckoning me. Maybe I could finally rest. I could say goodbye to this fear. If I just grabbed one of those ropes. Yeah. I mean, there was no reason they should be there. Reality was reality, and the painting was the painting. So, if I died in the world of the painting, it would all be over. The ropes swung back and forth. They were inviting me. I put one around my neck and let my body weight do the rest. Huh? Why was I? I pointed to the painting of the messed up face. I took it home. At some point, I threw that painting of the messed up face away. I thought it would drive me mad if I kept it. I let my fear get the better of me. Rather than the fear of what awaited me in the future, I was more afraid of what was next to me right now. Even though I got rid of it, I couldn't get rid of that painting out of my head. I dreamt of that exhibition numerous times as well. Women. So many women. There were so many paintings of women. They were all hideous, and yet beautifully painted. They were frightening, and yet I couldn't help but look at them. They lingered in my memories. Ah, that picture. I wanted to see it one more time. The woman from the 3 paintings in a row looked at me, watched me. She seemed to be smiling. She looked like she was about to start talking any moment now. That person, the person who painted it, said the borders were blurred between people who are alive and those who are not. The things that shouldn't exist. They were blurred. They reached through the border. And they were coming here. Or perhaps it was I who was going over there. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. That was why I reached out for the woman.